What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Casually Fit Podcast. This is episode 40. I am pumped for today. It is Wednesday, all right? Today is like the second day here in California with no masks, and I'm excited. Today was a pretty good day. I recorded this the day before, and I didn't have to wear a mask at the gym, which is great. Especially for doing cardio, running. It's really a pain. It just, when you're sweating and trying to get it, the mask really kind of gets in the way. I actually found, even right now, my nose hurts because my mask, like the sweat builds up on the mask and it makes my nose red, like I'm Rudolph or something, and then my nose hurts. So I'm pumped to not have the mask. And, it's the second day I'm here in California, and I think that's how it is across the country. That's how it has been for a while now, for like a month. Not too sure, but I'm pumped that it has changed here. Now this week's going to be different for this episode. I'm not going to be doing the Fit Fighter of the Week. I'm not going to be doing the Fit Freak of the Week either. I just want to do something different for this week. This is a 40th episode, and honestly, I've been jam-packed for this whole week as well. So I didn't want to come here and kind of throw a bunch of things together. I just wanted to come here and just see what happens. You got podcasts where they are very well produced. Every single topic is chosen. There's editing throughout the whole entire thing. It's basically like a regular show that you would see on TV, right, with producers and the whole thing. So you have that, and I do a very limited attempt at that. I like to have some topics, and I like to have these segments where I can talk about certain things. So I do like that. But, there are other things out there. There are other ways to do it, as in just free-flowing conversation, like I'm going to be trying to do today. And then there's also interviews. Comment below if you want to see me interview people. I do have an idea for interviews. It's getting the logistics together and then having the ability to do the interviews. I got to figure out. I need more time for that. But I'm excited if I'm able to do the interviews that I want to do, because it's going to be some pretty intense stuff, talking with some pretty intense people in some possibly in a dire situation at the moment. So, that's my goal. Those are the people. I'm not going to tell you too much, but yeah, I have ideas for it, and I want to incorporate that at some point into this podcast. But I also want to just, turn this thing on, come here, turn it on, and just talk, right? This is a Casually Fit podcast. I guess you'd say this is my podcast. So sometimes I'm just going to come here and just say what's kind of on my mind and just see where it goes. Like today, one thing that has happened throughout, my whole life is I have had these circumstances, or I've had these situations to where I go into something completely brand new, green level, as they'd say, bottom level, and in different areas I've been able to rise through, whether that's coming into the Marine Corps and being a private when I first got there, and going up to corporal, and then even being a Marine who was never in Afghanistan, and then all of a sudden I'm in Afghanistan, and I'm directly I'm coordinating 20 plus Marines and going outside the wire every single day. That's going from a very uncomfortable state of being to a very uncomfortable, but then kind of comfortable. As the days go on, and as I self-assess and I keep on pushing and I don't shy away from it, I tend to improve. And that's like everybody else. Everybody, if you just stick to the thing that you're trying to do, if you just focus on it, you pay attention and you keep showing up more times than not, you're going to improve. And so, yeah, I've done that in that area. I've done it in sales. I've done it in business. I've done it with my body as well, many times over, trying to get my body in shape, get it in elite shape, and just going through the whole rigmarole. I messed that word up. I didn't want to, but going through the whole thing, and so, yeah, leading up to now, right? Leading up to now is, over the past couple weeks, it's really been the first couple weeks in several years that I've gone to where like the pain in my back has been gone. And, maybe I've said this too much, but this is a new time. This is a different feeling that I'm experiencing now. For example, with surfing, I would go surfing with a hurt back all the time. That's how I did it for the last couple of years. It's just going out surfing. And when I say hurt back, that means that my back has some pain going up to surf, and, trying to bend over and squeeze into my wetsuit. That even hurts. Paddling out, the way that my back is arched and the movement and the little tweaks, that hurts. And then trying to catch a wave and generate power and through my core, that hurt. And then even getting on a wave, I knew every time I'd be on a wave, there's certain things I couldn't do. There's certain positions I couldn't put myself in. Otherwise, I would have shooting pain that would just stop me from doing whatever I was doing, and just I'd fall off the board more than likely. And so, yeah, that's how it's been for the last several years. And through the last several years, I've just been doing my own. I don't recommend this, right? So don't think I'm telling people to do this, but I've gone through my own analysis, my own my own thing, and that's probably why it's taken so long, and that's probably why I had some really good periods of bliss, as you'd say, and I also had some dark periods where I couldn't move at all. So again, I'm not saying that you should do this, but I've gone through that whole thing, and I've always kept in my mind, one day this might work. One day I might be able to wake up and work out and surf and, touch my toes and run and do all these things without any pain. And I just kept on looking for ways to improve my back strength, flexibility. And then I found out that decompressing was a huge problem that I I wasn't being decompressed at all. And I just went through the whole thing, and now I feel absolutely great. Before, I would have times where my back would, I'd have little pockets of good times to where it didn't hurt, but there's always after a couple days, if I go too hard, then I can kind of feel it. And now, well, there is a little tinge in my back right now, but that is something that it will subside if I just stop surfing and working out. And over the past several days, that's what I've been doing. So I've been going a little hard since I've been feeling good, and I got to take a step back now. So, but I'm pretty confident as soon as I do that, then my back will be fine. And still my back is great because I can still, even tomorrow, even with this little, my back felt a little weird this morning working out, but I still went out and surfed, and it felt great surfing. And right now I'm not in pain. There's just I just can tell when there's something that's a little off. So I'm telling you all that to tell you, this has refreshed my mind. This is always in my mind, just knowing that if I just keep going, at some point, it'll all more than likely work out. And, I just want to translate this over to trying to lose weight, trying to get in shape, no matter what your goal is, right? You can be somebody who's trying to gain weight, right? Maybe you went through high school. I know plenty of people like this, men, women, go through high school, go through college years fairly underweight, and for several reasons, maybe not, there's a lot of reasons that lead to that. Maybe you're just not even paying attention, right? You're just trying to get through college and trying to get good grades so you can get a good job. And then all of a sudden you realize, hey, being underweight is probably not a good thing. So whether it's your goal to put on some muscle, gain some weight, get into that average weight range, or you're trying to get some six-pack abs for the summertime, or you're trying to slim down a couple 100 pounds. And for many people, that is their reality. Is there's a lot of people out there that gotta lose in the triple digits. So, and any one of those people, if you compare them against each other, if you say to somebody who has to lose 300 pounds, like, oh, well, this dude has to gain 20 pounds. Usually the person who has to lose the triple digits is going to be like, well, I mean, that doesn't even compare. They don't know my struggle. I got to lose all this weight and everything like that. And, that's their perspective. That's the same thing for somebody who is trying to gain the weight. They could say the same thing about the person trying to lose the triple digits. Like, hey, well, all you got to do is lose weight. I got to gain weight. And so it's all about what perspective you're looking at it from. And so I would say that this is kind of consistent across the board. Like your hardest day is your hardest day, right? You can compare it to other people's days, but if you deem it to be hard and throughout your life and your experiences, it is the hardest day of your life, then it's the hardest day of your life, right? And when you're trying to do any of these things, when you're trying to gain the weight, when you're trying to get the abs, when you're trying to get a low running mile, or you're trying to lose the weight, you're in this state of being uncomfortable, and you gotta get past it. You gotta look past and hope that everything's going to be okay on the other side, that everything's going to work out. And I could sit here and say a normal platitude of, yeah, if you just keep on going, it's going to keep on working out, which is 100% true. But I feel like that might be a little bit too simplistic. There's way more to it. Like, gain weight, lose weight, whatever it is, you got to follow a lot of different things. You got to, somebody who has to lose triple digits, you got to be on your diet. And that doesn't mean just eating the right food. That means eating not only the right food, getting rid of all the bad habits that you've had over the last couple of years, and trying to go the healthy way, right? Completely excommunicate yourself from the sugary drinks and the candy bars. If you're trying to do that, hold on. I'm getting lost in the I'm looking at I have the recording up, and I'm just keep looking at the voice pattern, and sorry, distracted. But if you're trying to lose weight and do all this, what I'm trying to say is it's not simplistic to just say that everything's going back on track. Everything's going to be good on the other side. If you're trying to lose that weight, you got to focus on the diet. You got to change out the unhealthy for the healthy, and you also have to eat less. You have to control your calories in and your calories out. And then you also have to find a workout program, and then find a gym, get some gym clothes, and show up every single day, and then do the right exercises, and do enough of the exercises, and then also put out as much as you can day in and day out just in the gym. And then you have to put out every day, day in and day out, on dieting. You can't really, out of a 7-day week, you can't spend 2 or 3 of the days only eating healthy, and the rest of the week, the other 4 days is unhealthy. And you got to be more on that, hey, you got to be healthy 6 to 7 days, pretty much the whole entire time. and you're battling a history of several months, years of not doing that. So it's a whole thing, and that's my message is that you really do have to not look for the simplistic way, right? You really, like, if I only said to myself that there's only one thing that can fix my back, I mean, where would I be? I would probably tried that a couple times. And then if I didn't adjust, if I didn't open myself up to do more things, if I didn't say to myself, oh, shit, I got to do more, unfortunately. I have to focus on more. I have to spend more time doing these things. If I didn't do that, then I don't know where I'd be. Maybe I'd be getting surgery. Maybe I still need surgery, all right? I'm not saying that I've fixed it completely. I'm just saying that it's going pretty good right now, right? It's the longest period of time with the most amount of activities that I've gone in a long time. Like, I'm going pretty rough with it, right? And that's probably going to lead me to my doom, but I'm going pretty rough with it right now. And everything seems to be going good. But again, the narrative to losing weight or gaining weight or getting muscles, whatever it is, I mean, you search anything up, like search anything on Google right now. Search, not anything, but I'm going to give you examples right now, right? If you search how to get bigger biceps, right? What's going to come up? You're going to find the top 5 things that pop up. It's going to be like the one thing to get bigger biceps, the one thing you can do, the simplest way to get bigger biceps. And that's very attractive, and that plays into our, just human nature and the way we're wired. But it's just not the way to go, right? You can try that. I mean, many people do. Most people, when they do try those things, and they only try those things, whatever that one thing is, they fail at it. Some people succeed, but most people fail at it, and then they get a sour taste in their mouth. And then a lot of people just kind of push away from the thing, and they don't even try again. So my message is open yourself up. Like, if you're facing triple digits to, you got to drop triple digits, you got to open yourself up. You got to look at all these things like it's, if you're playing a video game and, you have the like dashboard or whatever, like on your screen. Like, if you're playing Call of Duty and I don't remember the buttons, you hit one of these buttons here, and you know how these kids do it. I think it might be this one. And all of a sudden you can see things that are in like your backpack. You can see your magazines, the weapon, and you can see your health, I think. I'm not sure. But you see everything that's going on. And there's probably better game examples. I don't play too many games, but you pull up that dashboard and you see everything that has to do with you and that game. And if you see that you're low on whatever you need a self-revive kit, then you go and get one, right? And that's probably a bad analogy, and I'm sorry, okay. I'll try better next time. But that is really what it is. You need to open yourself up, and you need to look at it from like an objective thing. Like, okay, as if this was kind of like a game, and if you can separate away from yourself for a second and kind of look, like, maybe pretend that yourself is somebody else, right? Who's in the same situation. Like, what would this person have to do to lose weight? Well, they would have to wake up and probably put their workout in the beginning of the day, probably skip breakfast, and then either cook a meal, a very healthy meal that you got from the grocery store prior to bring with you to lunch, or you have to know exactly what places have healthy food, or you know exactly what restaurants are healthy for lunch, and you cruise over there, you grab some food. And then you got to, every time you go and get gas, you got to make sure that you're not snatching up that Twix, right? And, it just, you got to open yourself up to all those things, because so many people, they do just think, well, if I just do this one thing, then this is going to solve the problem. And one thing tends to not solve the problem, right? If I was to, the things that led me to, let's see if I haven't thought about this. So, but I haven't thought of it in to tell people, right? But if I had to think of the things that it took for me to get a better back, first thing is stretching, right? That's one thing. So if I would have just stretched, maybe that would have worked, but I had to focus on stretching, my flexibility. I was not flexible. I couldn't even reach past my mid shin, right? And I can reach far past my feet now. I'm fairly flexible. The splits are coming up next. But either way, flexibility, stretching, very important. I found that to be important. So that's one thing I had to focus on. What else I have to focus on? This other thing is a little weird. And again, this is not something that I would suggest to anybody with a back problem, but it did work for me and my friends. So, it's running. Running was a huge thing that, took a lot of pain, took a lot of miles, a lot of steps to get through some tough times where it really hurt. But I did find that if I just kept on running, the pain actually went away. So, and it actually got better. So that's one thing. What else did I have to do? Focus on core exercises. I had to start doing a lot more ab exercises. And I'm lazy. I'm sorry. You're probably going to hate me for this. I'm not even going to say it, but I'll say it now. You're probably going to hate me for this, but, I worked on when I cared about what I looked like back when I was a youngin', I worked on my abs all the time, right? And then so they're just kind of permanently there if I just watch my diet. So I get a little lazy with the abs, I'm going to admit. Wouldn't really work on my core too much because, if I'm feeling a little too vain, then, usually if I am feeling a little too vain, then that's what happens. It's you don't have to work on your abs. But doing core exercises is a huge benefit to the lower back pain. So I had to incorporate that. What else I have to do? I had to find things to decompress my back. I had to find this, the back extension. You lay on this back extension thing and you just do you can either do sit-ups on it or you can do back curls. I don't know the specific name for it. But you can do that, and you would just see me at the gym just, getting on this thing, not doing any workout other than just just hanging over with my feet locked into the thing and just hanging over and decompressing my back, which is huge. I switched gyms. Unfortunately, 24-Hour Fitness doesn't have one of these things, but it is huge. If you have anything going on with your back, trying to hanging from a bar, I supplement it with hanging from a bar now, but hanging from a bar, decompressing your spine some way, it is huge. If you have any, you're going to feel near instant relief for, I would say, a lot of people. So I had to start doing that, right? What else did I have to do? It sounds like a lot, right? It sounds like a lot. It's because it is. Losing weight is a lot. A lot goes into it. You got to focus on these things. And I'm telling you this to hope that you can take this information and you can keep going. So you kind of know what's ahead. So you don't get startled and kind of back away from it. I'm telling you all this. For me to do something, I like to know as much information as I can about it before I do it. No matter how good, bad, indifferent, I don't care what the information is. Just give it to me and give me all of it, and don't keep away anything from me. So that's what I'm trying to do right now, if you haven't already guessed it. Let's go back into the back. So what else did I have to do? I'm trying to think. What else did I have to do? Rest. I wouldn't rest. I would never rest. I just kept on piling through. I would just kept on pushing through everything. And resting wasn't really a big deal. And resting, huge. Just resting as in like taking a few days off from exercising, or taking a couple days off and also doing a couple days of like 25 to 50% effort in some sort of exercise routine for the day. Like just drastically reduce everything, but still move around, like active recovery. So I had to start doing that, getting more sleep, supplements, eating healthy also helped, brought down the inflammation. What else is there? That might be it. That's 8 things, right? I didn't go to a chiropractor. I didn't go to a doctor. Hey, that's my fault, whatever. I mean, again, don't listen, you don't have to, I'm not telling you to do these things, but I'm just telling you what it took me to fix my back. And it took a lot, right? It's, again, 8 things, eight different things that I had to, all 8 different areas, other than like hanging off the back machine and not all 8. Most of the 8 things I had to start off brand new. Running, I didn't think I could run, and then all of a sudden I just decided to start running, and lo and behold, it actually worked. But I had to start off as not even being able to run half a mile. And now, if you clocked me, well, not today, but in a couple weeks or a month from now, once I have more my legs under me, I think I could probably pretty easily break a 6:30 mile, more than likely. So sorry, drinking water for people who are listening. But yeah, so again, if I just did one of these things, I would probably not be sitting here feeling great, and just looking ahead at like, I'm about to do a lot more, and just thinking that, again, my peak, I'm like 31, 32, I don't even know how old I am. My peak is like right now and basically in a couple of years from now. So my back getting fixed, this means I'm going to use this last couple of years. I look at it almost like it's like the end of my life. This is like if they say, hey, you only got 2 years to live, this is kind of what I look at it in a certain lane as in fitness in my body. Like, yes, I'm going to be very fit for the rest of my life because I'm always going to exercise. I'm always going to eat healthy. But my peak, how high can I get? How high can I go? I look at it as I only have 2 years left to see how high I can go. What can I do? What does that mean? That means possibly some marathons. That means, that means a lot of things. So we'll see, right? I have a lot of things that I want to do, and we'll just see how the back goes. But I'm just going to keep on improving on it. And I wouldn't be thinking about these things like what else can I do if I didn't focus on all these areas. If you're trying to gain the weight, right, and you're only gaining weight's a little bit different because you kind of can only just eat a whole lot of food, right? That is one area where you can really just eat a whole bunch of food. Make sure that you have a caloric surplus, but you also have to make sure you don't eat too much, and you also have to make sure that you don't only eat too much and not exercise, right? Because you can kind of wiggle your way in and be like, well, I got to gain weight, so I need to burn less calories, right? And I need to eat more. My caloric surplus has to be higher. And one way to do that is to be somewhat sedentary and not burn as much calories. So you can kind of back yourself into that, but that can easily lead to you can go from very skinny to very overweight. The likelihood of that, who knows? But that is definitely a path. If you start just being sedentary and eating a lot, I mean, that's what happens. So you have to make sure that you are throwing in some exercising. So to gain weight, you would think that you just see, look, I'm just thinking about these things right now. So, so to gain weight, you would think that you could just sit on the couch and just eat some food and you'll be all good. And yes, you will gain weight. But if you have your health and you want yourself to be better off, you would also be like, well, I got to actually exercise. I got to build some muscle along with this. I can't just be completely sedentary. And you got to focus on your food. Yeah, sure, you can get a whole bunch of calories with a Big Mac, large fries, and a Coke. You can get a whole bunch of calories in that. But they're not good calories, right? In that meal that I just mentioned, there's probably close to, no lie, no cap, as the kids would say. There's probably close to almost 150, 200 grams of sugar. I mean, I want to say the Big Mac has like 60 or 70 grams of sugar. The Coke has, if you get a large Coke from McDonald's, I mean, they taste great. But I mean, that is up there. I can't remember the exact numbers. That's a lot of sugar. So that's clearly not bad. Or I mean, that's clearly not bad. That's clearly not good. You're just going to overflow your glucose stores, and you're just going to, you will gain weight, but again, it's not going to be healthy weight. Then you have to worry about your internal organs, and you have to worry about inflammation, how much more inflammation your body is having, and how susceptible you are to everything else now. When you have high inflammation, you're just susceptible to diseases, your sicknesses, aches, pains. It's just not good. So even in that, you can't really just focus on the one thing. You got to open it up, and you have to the good thing about the internet, the good thing about society today is there's like experts, there's like people talking like me to microphones with the camera, crazy people who are just spouting some things off. But there's a lot of people out there that are spouting some things off that are actually super legit. Like, these people are, as I say, super legit, just completely just undermine my own thing. But you have researchers, you have doctors, you have scientists speaking about pretty much every single thing. You have experts in every single area, and every single area basically has a podcast or they have a website. So that means that for you, somebody who's trying to lose weight or gain weight, whatever it is, if you're not into exercising, if you're not into dieting, you don't necessarily have to be, but you do have to make sure that the person that is telling you, the person that you're getting advice from, the person that you're getting the workout program from, the diet plan from, you got to make sure that they are obsessed and they know everything that you need to know, or everything. You need to make sure that they are looking at all the different areas, that you don't pick somebody who's like, oh, you want to get big biceps, just eat Big Macs and do bicep curls 7 days a week. And that's his plan, right? Even in that, somebody, you could say, yeah, sure, of course, you get a whole bunch of calories in. You just do biceps 7 days a week, maybe, but then you got to worry about rest time. You got to worry about an imbalance. Imagine you just got, you can go online. You ever go online and look at the, they pump themselves up with the, it's like a gelatin. I forgot the name of it. Starts with an S. I can't remember. You can go on there, and there are people that there's some crazy pictures online where people do have just huge biceps and then like forearms the size of my forearms, right? They have 35-inch biceps and the same size forearm as me. It looks weird. And the same chest as me, or even smaller chest. So you got to worry about all these things. And thankfully, again, so if you're trying to go out there, you don't have to be into the fitness stuff. You just got to go find somebody who really is and is giving you the good information. And what comes with that typically is unfortunately, sometimes, most of the time, when you first find the one person, you go, this is the person. And then you follow them, get the program, do all the things. And then you realize, wait, this isn't the person. I got to find another person. But if you keep on searching, you keep on looking, you keep on refining who you're looking for, right? The third time around when you're like, all right, now this is the person. This is the trainer I'm going to be following because they do this, they do that. They're telling me about carbs. They're telling me all these things. They're not missing anything. Then that's going to be the better person to go to. And again, thanks to society today and the internet and the YouTubes, all of that, we have that all at our fingertips. If you're not into it, you just plug yourself in. Or on the flip side, if you're trying to slowly get into it, if you are interested in it, then there's just so much information out there that you can just dive into. You can probably spend 10 hours a day, every single day for the next year on information on just weight loss or gaining weight or whatever it is. So that can help you out as well. And this podcast is longer than what I thought it was going to be. So I don't want to take up too much of your time today because today is not a segment day. I don't have really any tricks to, try to keep your attention. I just have my voice, and I'm pretty sure that doesn't work that well. So I could, this podcast could be sitting online for the next 10 years, and I very well could be the only person that will ever hear it. And I might not even hear it. I'm not, am I going to listen back to this podcast? Nobody might never hear the end of this podcast. There's going to be people that listen to the beginning. But as far as like the last 10 minutes, I wonder what the stat would be on that. I would like to see that. But yeah, either way. So yeah, today, again, I just wanted to share with you a little bit of what I was going through. And again, if you're trying to do this whole thing and if you're feeling overwhelmed, one, kind of should be. I mean, it is overwhelming. If you got to lose triple digits, a lot of things go into it. But just settle in, try to keep calm, keep your eyes forward, keep checking in the future, every now and then just try to place yourself into the future. Like, well, this could be me, with less weight, with the 6-pack abs, with more weight on me, whatever it is. Try to touch base with the future and keep your hopes up, but mainly stay calm. Open yourself up to doing more than what you're doing currently, and do more if need be. Don't shy away from it, or if you do shy away from it, just make sure that you end up doing it. You can bitch and moan all you want as long as you do it, right? There's plenty of people in the Marines. That was like the biggest thing. Everybody would do the thing that needed to be done. We had to do it. If we didn't do it, we would get hazed by the corporals or sergeants. We would be doing the worst kind of sadistic games that you could think of. One would be here. I'll just tell you, we had like 10 people line up across a like 100-yard lot that was filled with rocks, and for like an hour or so, we all lined up, and our corporals told us to take one step, bend down, and pick up a rock. And then we did that back and forth for like an hour and a half, picking up rocks, and not just like picking up the rock and putting it back on the ground, because that's where it should be. Why would you pick it up to begin with? No, putting that rock into your pocket. And then at the end of it, you have all these rocks. But if you drop a rock, I don't even have to get into it. But, all the Marines on that line would do it, right? They might be yelling at the corporal. In their mind, they might be yelling at the corporal, and they might completely not want to do it at all, but they're still going to do it. And that same goes for anything. If you're doing the right things, as long as it's the right things and it's the right thing to do objectively, then you just got to do it. And however you feel about it, it's just however you feel about it. Hopefully the next time you come around, you feel a little bit better about it. But that's my advice. Just keep going. Open yourself up. Don't get comfortable in like a little hole. Don't tunnel into some piece of advice that you found online, and just, keep hoping and praying that this thing that you're doing, that apple cider vinegar, after 10 years of drinking it, one day you're going to lose weight. Don't do that, right? Open yourself up and you're going to see results. If you keep opening yourself up, you keep on trying to improve, and you keep on doing what's required or what you think's required at the time, then over time, at some point, you're more than likely going to get the thing that you want. All right. And that's it for today's podcast, episode 40. Thank you for stopping by. Comment, like, subscribe, I guess. Go to my website, liftrunstretch.com. And am I horrible at running a website and trying to make money from this? Yes, I am. I got a membership program there. It's $9.99, I think, $10. And I got some workout programs in there. And it's going to be a continuously updated workout program list. I'm going to keep on adding workout programs. I'm going to keep on growing everything that's inside that membership area. All right. And if you sign up for it, then that means I can spend more time to do it. Right. So that'd be great. That's the sponsor this week. That's the podcast. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Hope the rest of your week goes well without a mask, right? Hopefully. And have a good one.